Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. With polls around the corner, the political corridors are buzzing with alliances, assurance and acrimony. The gloves are off, but it's not just political rivals, but even civil society, which has leapt into the political arena. An alliance of over 150 civil society organizations, or rather NGOs, have openly announced their support for the India Alliance. Read this as those activists who are known to be Modi baiters, spearheaded by Medha Patkar, who also says Tista Seetalwad is going to be in those who is going to join in taking this position against the Modi government and supporting the India Alliance, planning a Samarthan Sankalp Jan Sabha to list their hopes and expectations from the Vipaksh. But the BJP has lashed out and called them known Modi baiters. They say that these activists who are now joining the India Alliance or the India Bloc have a history of working against India. Some of them have also been pulled up by the highest court for their political agenda, hurting people of India. But listen in to the activists who claim that their support to India Alliance is to fight for social issues.
You should see our memorandum, which are presented to the Rahul Gandhi's team. उसमें भी हम लोगों ने हमारी अपेक्षा व्यक्त की है. दलीय राजनीति और संसद बाह्य राजनीति, इनके बीच में जो खुला संवाद होना चाहिए वो हम चाहते हैं. और उस संवाद के दौरान राहुल गांधी जी ने भी खुद कहा था, इतना खुलापन उन्होंने दिखाया जिसका हमने बहुत स्वागत किया. ये पूरे झूठे एलिगेशंस हैं. आपको बताऊं कि चुनाव के पहले उन्होंने वो मुद्दा उठाया. उसमें एक मुद्दा ये उठाया कि आम आदमी पार्टी मुझे मुख्यमंत्री बनाने जा रही है. अब मैं आम आदमी पार्टी में हूं ही नहीं, तो वो मुझे मुख्यमंत्री कैसे बनाएंगे. इसीलिए उनको डर था कि उनको वोट बैंक उनकी नर्मदा पर नहीं बन पाएगी, और इसीलिए उन्होंने हमको टारगेट बनाया.
Tista is not the issue here, nor is Medha Patkar. Amit Malviya can tweet what he wants to. There, we are taking Satpal Malik. Let Amit Malviya tweet about Satpal Malik supporting the India Alliance, and I'll talk to Amit Malviya. Okay. Satpal Malik is going to be there online tomorrow, addressing the meeting, talking about the facts of Pulwama, an issue that the Modi government is scared of.
The BJP, however, says that these activists aren't working for India, but working against Modi. But the opposition has reminded the BJP that RSS and other social organizations also supports them. So what's the big deal? But time for a NewsHour fact check. Are these activists really working for India or against Modi is something that can be looked at in various agendas that have been put out by different courts. Courts have given all kinds of statements against some of these very well-known baiters of Modi. On the other side, there are those in the opposition who have begun to look at an early election. In fact, after Mamata Banerjee yesterday, today, Nitish Kumar was the one to say, चुनाव कभी भी किसी भी तरह जल्दी हो सकते हैं. Listen in to what they had to say.
ভালো করে কাজ হয়, মানুষ ভালোবাসে. আপনারা ভাবেন আমি লুকিয়ে লুকিয়ে কিছু করি, তাতে তো পার্টির বদনাম হয়, সেটা চিন্তা করেন না. আর কেউ জিতে গিয়ে ভাবেন আমার তো 5 বছর হয়ে গেল, আরে দুদিন বাদে পার্লামেন্ট ইলেকশন আছে. আমার তো এখন সন্দেহ হচ্ছে এরা ডিসেম্বরেই না পার্লামেন্ট ইলেকশন করে দেয়, জানুয়ারিতেও করে দিতে পারে. এদের কোনো বিশ্বাস নেই. দেখেছেন চিফ জাস্টিস একটা কমিটি করতে বলেছিলেন, চিফ জাস্টিসও এখানে ছিলেন, চিফ জাস্টিসের নামটা বাদ দিয়ে দিয়েছেন, দিয়ে একটা বিজেপির ক্যাবিনেট মিনিস্টার ওরে বাবারে কত বড় লাট্টু তাকে করে দিয়েছে একেবারে ইলেকশন কমিশনের তৈরি করবার হেড लाट्टू থেকে लाट्टू हो जाए।
ये तो केंद्र वाले पहले भी करा सकते हैं।
कुछ संभावना है क्या सर? कुछ संभावना आपको लग रही है?
शुरू से ना बोल रहे हैं, आपको बोलिए। हम तो आपको 7-8 महीना पहले से ना कह रहे हैं कि लोग पहले भी करा सकते हैं, इसलिए सबको एकजुट होना चाहिए, तो उसी में हम लगे हुए।
Even as the India alliance is busy fear-mongering, the BJP Sarkar put their efforts towards relief to the Aam Aadmi. On the day before Raksha Bandhan, the government has slashed prices of LPG cylinders by 200 rupees. So now LPG cylinders for the Aam Aadmi is for 900 rupees per cylinder. And for those who are covered under the Ujjwala scheme, these cylinders will now cost 700 rupees. Not just that, 75 lakh women have been added to the list of those who will be eligible for these beneficiaries under the Ujjwala scheme. As all of this is happening, there is conspiracy theories that are coming up, of course, from Mumbai yet again. And the repeat offender this time around is also Sanjay Raut of the Shiv Sena. Listen in.
2024 का चुनाव जीतने के लिए या लोगों में एक भय पैदा करने के लिए हमें डर है या हमें लगता है, हमें शंका है कि जो राम मंदिर का उद्घाटन होने जा रहा है अयोध्या में, उस वक्त पूरे देश में से लोगों को बुलाकर ट्रेन छोड़कर किसी ऐसे एरिया में, ऐसे विभाग में ट्रेन पर पथराव किए जाएंगे, पत्थरों पर ट्रेन के ऊपर आग के गोले छोड़े जाएंगे और पूरे देश में दंगे भर जाएंगे। इस प्रकार की शंका लोगों के मन में है, जो प्रमुख राजनीतिक दल है उनके मन में है।
So the legitimate question we are asking on the NewsHour tonight: will relief fuel Modi's bharosa, or will the India Bloc continue to target Prime Minister Modi? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the NewsHour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Tehseen Poonawalla, national spokesperson of the BJP, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, senior fellow at the IPCS, Smita Prakash, editor ANI, Ashutosh, political analyst. Also joining the debate, Dr. Naval Kishore, national spokesperson of the RJD, and Dr. Riju Datta, national spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress. But my first question goes to Tehseen Poonawalla. Tehseen Poonawalla, मोहब्बत की दुकान में सामान कौन सा? मेधा पाटकर, तीस्ता सीतलवाड़, फिरोज मीठी बोरवाला. You know, this is mohabbat ki dukaan. On the other side, the Prime Minister is focusing on governance. There's G20 happening next week. Ahead of the festival season, the Prime Minister has reduced the prices of LPG cylinders, and the opposition alliance only has Satpal Malik to back them in Mumbai. Tehseen Poonawalla, is this your agenda against BJP and Modi?
Grateful for the opportunity to speak, and at the onset, congratulations to my country, India, for hosting the G20 summit. And in the mother of democracy, we are going to showcase Amrit Kal and how India is a vibrant, thriving economy by the government of India arbitrarily shutting down private businesses with a diktat, arbitrarily shutting it down. That is how you're going to show how we are a thriving economy. Great, do it. I have no problem with it. So far as that, I actually welcome India heading the G20. It's a great thing, but you want to shut down private businesses and say this is how it works. Okay, good. As so far as on this very channel,
are you saying this did not happen in Asia? It did not happen in the UPA? I mean, how petty can you get? How petty can you get?
I'm not being petty. I'm absolutely not being petty. I object to that word, and and as a journalist, I hope you don't use that word for me. I don't like that word. Let me explain that.
Doesn't matter.
Just
but
because something
when you show signs of being petty, I will have to call it.
I'm not being petty. I'm making a point. You've called me on the show to give a point. You should accept my point of view. Don't call me petty. Let me make my point without interruption. If it happened during Asia, it was wrong. But if you're going to show yourself as a thriving democracy, because world leaders are coming, going to shut down private businesses, restaurants, and say, okay, restaurants are shut down because world leaders have come. How are you a thriving economy? I think government should stop being arbitrary. You know, and Abhijit's on the show, they've even issued orders that dog feeders will not be allowed to feed strays. What kind of a thriving economy are where strays will not get fed? Is this how you prove yourself? But this is not the issue of G20. Let me make larger, more substantial points. On this very show, a show that you hosted, I was told that the UPA and the India Alliance and Congress is giving revdi by reducing cylinder prices. Today on your very show, I am told Modi ji's master stroke is reducing cylinder prices. Aap kare to chamatkar, koi aur kare to gunegar. Aisa to nahi chalega na. The fact of the matter is, I may not agree with Meera Patkar and I don't agree with some of these left loonies, but civil society has as much of a right to put its point of view as much as right-wing rowdies like from people from the RSS, Bajrang Dal and BHP, as long as they don't take to violence. I don't think that the RSS, which calls itself a civil society, should also be involved in political affairs. If Meera Patkar is not involved, believe me, I don't support either of them. I think one are left loonies, the other are right rowdies. But the fact of the matter is that in a democracy, people are allowed to put their point of view. So if somebody supports the India Alliance, they are more than welcome to support the India Alliance. But let's understand one thing. 2024, there is going to be a change in this country. The India Alliance in Mumbai is going to put out a vision map for the country. I am personally with some people working on this vision map on what we are going to do different, how it's going to be different, and the country is going to see something that will be different from what the BJP has done for 9 years.
Well, I would hope so as well, that country sees something different happening rather than the same old Modi baiting. But let me get in Mr. Riju Datta. Mr. Riju Datta, on the one hand, there is Sanjay Raut who says there is going to be pathrav on trains going to Ayodhya in January. There is going to be a Gujarat part 2 that is going to happen in January. That is one kind of fear mongering. On the other end, you have Mamata Banerjee saying that elections will happen in December. Have you really now got over your differences with the Election Commission? Has the Election Commission given you an early briefing on when the general elections are going to be, Riju Datta? Or is this just for effect to create an atmosphere of conspiracy, fear, कि बस सब कुछ खत्म होने वाला है, चुनाव होने वाला है, because everything is going helter-skelter in this country?
Navika ji, just like senior journalists gets WhatsApp messages from the BJP head office of what is going to happen in the future, the stalwart politicians with more than 40 years in political career also gets WhatsApp messages of what might happen, what might not happen. That's the beauty of India. But coming to the moot point, what Sanjay Raut ji said, I do not know what he is trying to say. That is for him and his party to explain. But obviously with the communal and divisive politics that BJP has played over and over in the years, obviously we feel that, with the Ram Mandir inauguration, they can try the same stunt, because it's a proven equation for BJP that you divide the country based on communal lines for political mileage. So, Sanjay Raut is not even entirely wrong thinking that this might happen. But all in all, Navika ji, there's a great Indian loot happening in this country. The country has become united in 2 meetings, just 2 meetings of the India Alliance. We have named the alliance and we had 2 meetings. Narendra Modi ji, with the entire support of 38 parties, had to reduce 200 rupees from gas cylinders. Very good. It shows that if you have a united and a strong opposition in this country, it benefits the common man. I am sure this is for Raksha Bandhan. Come Diwali and Durga Puja, we will get reduction in fuel prices. Come Christmas, New Year, probably dollar will come down and Indian rupee will fare. And come 2024, we will get the best gifts Narendra Modi can give India. That is vacate his seat of the Prime Minister, and we'll all breathe a sigh of relief. So India is ready. You can have the elections if you want tomorrow also. We are ready. And I come from Bengal. Bengal, we are ready at the best. BJP can do the elections any day as they're choosing.
Well, Tehseen Poonawalla, now respond. Respond to Tehseen Poonawalla and Riju Datta.
First of all, I just hope, Riju, that Mamta Didi is not reading out from that same WhatsApp group which told her Rakesh Roshan landed in space, and then she said that Indira Gandhi landed in space. So I hope she's closed that WhatsApp window and she's logged on to another WhatsApp window. And I don't know what WhatsApp Nitish Kumar ji gets, because he's clueless about what is happening in Bihar, but he's clueless about Chandrayaan 3, but he has all the ideas about when Chunav is going to happen. And look, they must at least have one kind of stand. Sometimes they say ये BJP वाले डराते हैं, तो डराते हैं, आज बोल रहे कि डर गए इसलिए 200 रुपया सिलेंडर का कम कर दिया, हम डर गए इसलिए 80 करोड़ लोगों को राशन दे दिया, हम डर गए इसलिए 200 करोड़ वैक्सीन फ्री दे दी, हम डर गए इसलिए 11 करोड़ टॉयलेट बना दिए। ये डर कर ही हम लोगों ने 12 करोड़ लोगों तक हम लोगों ने नल से जल पहुंचा दिया और 3.5 करोड़ लोगों का घर भी बना दिया। डर गए इसलिए पर कैपिटा इनकम डबल कर दी, डर गए इसलिए तो मिडिल क्लास की इनकम चौगुना कर दी, और आज डर गए इसलिए अर्थव्यवस्था को 10 से 5th और 5th से 3rd ले जा रहे हैं। तो ये डरने के बाद ही हम सब कुछ कर रहे हैं, पर कम से कम एक झूठ तो तय करके आओ अपने व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में कि हम डरा रहे हैं या हम डर गए हैं। अच्छा, चुनाव को लेकर आपको तनाव क्यों है? लुक एट देयर मेन कंसर्न ऑफ ममता दीदी इज कि सारे हेलीकॉप्टर बुक हो गए। आर यू सेइंग दैट बिना हेलीकॉप्टर के आप चुनाव नहीं लड़ सकते? और आर यू एक्सेप्टिंग दैट इट इज यू दैट यूजेस हेलीकॉप्टर्स फॉर चुनाव, बिकॉज यू हैव एडमिटेड इट दैट हम यूज करते हैं इसलिए हम लोग अब चुनाव नहीं जीत पाएंगे? दिस काइंड ऑफ आर्गुमेंट आई हैव नॉट हर्ड, बट आई टेल यू द रियल रीजन व्हाई दे आर ऑल अंडर टेंशन इज बिकॉज लोगो बन चुका है, पर लोगों के लिए क्या कार्यक्रम है कुछ तय नहीं। नारा बन चुका है, परंतु नर और नारी के लिए नीति क्या लानी है कुछ तय नहीं। झंडा बन चुका है, पर झंडे के ऊपर एजेंडा क्या है कोई तय नहीं। एक सवाल पूछता हूं, यहां पर तहसीन पूनावाला कंडीशनल नेशनलिस्ट, कंडीशनल सेकुलरिस्ट, इनसे पूछे 370 पर क्या स्टैंड है, इनका एक अलग स्टैंड है। रिजू बाबा का एक तीसरा स्टैंड है, शिवसेना के कोई प्रतिनिधि होंगे उद्धव सेना के, उनका 3rd स्टैंड है, और आम आदमी पार्टी का 4th स्टैंड है। एक मुद्दे पर एक नहीं हो पाते ना। संजय राउत जी कहते हैं गोधरा type incident will take place, which means he is giving clean chit to those who are committed Godhra, who have been convicted by the court. And imagine their other partner Riju Datta, are you a proud Hindu? Because Hindu तो धोखा है, ये किसने कहा है? स्वामी प्रसाद मौर्य। IUMSS हिंदू को लटका के मार दो, ये आपका गठबंधन है। इसीलिए I tell you what is the difference. There are two visions. One is pact, परफॉर्मेंस, एबिलिटी, कैरेक्टर, ट्राइड एंड टेस्टेड। मोदी जी का पैक्ट है जनता के साथ। आप हो समाप्त का मतलब है सनातन विरोधी, मजबूरी का गठबंधन, जो अधीर रंजन ने बताया। परिवारवाद ऐसा कि जवाहर पॉइंट का नाम रख दिया चांद पर भी। और टी फॉर तुष्टिकरण में आपने गोधरा के हत्यारों को भी आज क्लीन चिट दे दिया।
ओके, काउंटर्स कमिंग फ्रॉम रिजू दत्ता एंड तहसीन। रिजू फर्स्ट।
Thank you. When Shehzad starts to speak, I feel like he is now taking lessons from Shankar Mahadevan, and he's practicing that breathlessness song. But good ratta maar ke aana chahiye, he is doing his homework. But at least Mamta Didi, whatever WhatsApp group she is reading from, she does not bring the teleprompter to speak, and she also has the guts to hold a press conference. So farak hai, us pe mat jaiye. And last but not the least, I am again telling you that 2024 elections is going to be the people of India versus BJP. मोदी जी से मैं एक ही चीज पूछूंगा, मोदी जी आप सब अच्छे कर रहे हैं, हाँ देश चांद पे पहुंच गया है, आप अभी तक मणिपुर क्यों नहीं पहुंचे? तो ये सब देख रहा है लोग। पीपल ऑफ इंडिया आर नॉट फूल्स। लेट्स वेट एंड वॉच व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन।
तहसीन पूनावाला, व्हाट्स योर काउंटर?
ऐसा कोई सगा नहीं जिसको भाजपा ने ठगा नहीं। All the BJP can do is come here and speak negatively about others. They have nothing positive to speak about their own agenda, nothing at all. The fact of the matter is, Ruju, I disagree with you passionately. It's not 38 parties ka alliance, it's 38 plus 2, CBI and ED. So please use CBI and ED in your alliance. No matter what, 2024, India is going to kick out the BJP.
आपका भी 29 है, 26 प्लस बेदा पाटकर प्लस तीसरा सीतलवाड़ एंड सतपाल मलिक।
देखिए, तहसीन ने एक डायलॉग 2 बार रिपीट किया है। When he does that, he means that he wants attention on that dialogue, so I'll give him. ED and CBI has compromised. 14 parties, including you and the TMC, went to court and said ED and CBI. You must be then the most clueless person if Congress didn't go. Congress was very much part of those 14 parties, and the lawyers see the lawyers who are arguing. One second. Thank you. So thank you. Is he not in Congress? Now, this is how much you lie. ED and CBI, the Supreme Court did not accept your plea. Secondly, ED and CBI, the matter that has been taken up against against Manish Sisodia. The Congress party has said that it is the best action to be taken against Manish Sisodia, and they put up posters. And by the way, ED and CBI.
And lastly,
that was
before the India alliance.
Lastly,
exactly.
Lastly. Arey Baba, let me complete. ED and CBI. Now, Tehseen, don't interrupt. I know your bad habit. Whenever you are exposed, you keep interrupting. Stop interrupting. ED and CBI ka kya role hai? Lalu has been convicted 4 times. Did the courts convict him or did ED and CBI?
I'll answer that.
No, don't answer that. There's no answer to this. You are a convicted, certified corrupt charachor.
No. Well, hold on, Tehseen. There are other people on the debate. You'll just have to hold on. Let me get in Naval Kishore ji. Naval Kishore ji, ये भी बिहार में भी शुरू हो गया है कि भाई चुनाव जल्दी हो जाएंगे. ये कहां से खबर आ रही है? डर आप में फैला हुआ है या डर आप बीजेपी में फैलाना चाह रहे हैं? थोड़ा देश को बता दीजिए, क्योंकि दिसंबर में जो चुनाव होने हैं वो तो शायद राज्यों के होने हैं. उसमें जनरल इलेक्शंस भी आप तभी करवा रहे हैं क्योंकि आजकल तो आप ही लोग तय कर रहे हैं सब कुछ.
नाविका जी, कुछ हो ना हो, बिहार ने अगस्त 2022 में ही तय कर दिया था कि एक गठबंधन तैयार होने जा रहा है जो इस देश को मोदी सरकार से छुटकारा दिलाएगा. जिसका विजन क्या है? विजन हैज नो रीजन. जो बोलते हैं वही सच है. 8 बजे रात को बोल देते हैं नोटबंदी हो जाएगा, चला गया. लॉकडाउन हो जाएगा, चला गया. ये शहजाद पूनावाला सपने में भी जैसे लालू देखते हैं, वैसे भाजपा और आरएसएस भी लालू जी को सपने में देखते हैं और बार बार ये कोशिश करते हैं कि लालू को बदनाम करने का, लेकिन वो जीवन में कर नहीं पाए. जहां तक सुप्रीम कोर्ट का इन्होंने नाम लिया है, बताना चाहिए भाजपा जैसे बेशर्म पत्रकार को कि जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ईडी को बोला कि 31 लास्ट है, फिर उसके बाद नेशनल सिक्योरिटी का मुद्दा लेकर कैसे चले गए? शर्म आनी चाहिए उनको. सीईसी पे सुप्रीम कोर्ट का क्या रूलिंग था, उसके अगेंस्ट में चले गए कि एक प्रधानमंत्री, दूसरे उनके नामित मंत्री और तीसरे आपके विपक्ष दल के नेता. इनको बताना चाहिए कि जो उन्होंने बोला, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला कि सर्वोच्च अधिकार उसी के पास है जो चुनी हुई सरकार है. उन्होंने चुनी हुई सरकार को चुनाने का देखिए कितना नमूना है. वो महाराष्ट्र है, मध्य प्रदेश है, दिल्ली है, कहां ये काम नहीं किया. जहां तक इंडिया गठबंधन का सवाल है, जब से ये नाम चला है ना, आप पूछिए माननीय गृह मंत्री से, 7 बार बिहार गए अगस्त 2022 के बाद. क्यों गए? कौन सा काम करके आए? वो गए थे पूर्णिया से, एयरपोर्ट से हवाई जहाज बनाए जो बनाई नहीं. मोदी जी उस एम्स की चर्चा कर रहे हैं जिसका न्यू भी नहीं डाला हुआ है. ऐसे लोग पाखंडी भाजपा में नेतृत्व में है, प्रवक्ता है, और आप कहते हैं अलायंस एक और है. सीबीआई, ईडी, इनकम के अलावा एक मीडिया का भी बहुत बड़ा फौज है जो दिन रात यह प्रूव करने में लगा हुआ है कि इस सरकार से बड़ा कुछ हो ही नहीं.
नेविल रॉय सिंघम की बात तो नहीं कर रहे आप?
10 साल
वो हमारे साथ नहीं, आपके साथ है नेविल रॉय.
अरे देखिए,
चीनी पैसा लेने वाला आपके साथ.
मैं समझ गया हूँ
आप शायद कंफ्यूजन में बोल रहे हैं.
जब बहता है
तो
ना,
जोड़ी मीडिया जोड़ी बन के आपके साथ है. वो हर झूठ को फैलाते हैं.
Well, Naval Kishore ji, let's not get personal.
नहीं, कोई मुझे आपत्ति नहीं है.
नवल किशोर जी, आप प्रोफेसर हैं, बच्चों का ही ख्याल रख लीजिए. लेकिन लेट मी गेट इन स्मिता प्रकाश.
और गालियों को पूरा प्लेटफॉर्म मिलना चाहिए.
लेट मी गेट इन स्मिता प्रकाश.
गाली देने का अधिकार है. जनता को राक्षस बोलते हैं.
एक मिनट,
जनता को राक्षस बोलते हैं तो हम जैसे.
नवल किशोर जी, लोकतंत्र है, सबके लिए है, लेकिन सब लोग ऐसे बोलने लग जाएंगे तो लोकतंत्र का क्या होगा? तार हो जाएगी लोकतंत्र हमारी. लेकिन नवल किशोर जी, एक श्वास लीजिए अंदर, आलोम विलोम थोड़ा सा कीजिए, तब तक मैं स्मिता जी के पास जाती हूँ.
अरे वो मैं रोज करता हूँ.
हाँ चलिए, अभी भी जरूरत पड़ रही है, नहीं तो ब्रेथलेस आप भी हो जाएंगे. स्मिता प्रकाश,
वो भी नहीं कर सकते हैं.
स्मिता प्रकाश,
भी हिम्मत नहीं है करने का.
स्मिता प्रकाश जी, you know, we understand that between the ruling side and the opposition there are sparks that are going to fly, but do you think it's getting a little suspenseful, because some people are saying, at least two leaders who are probably hopeful enough to get to the Prime Minister's position are saying elections are going to be preponed, they are going to be held in December. There is one gentleman who's sitting in Mumbai from the Shiv Sena who says that there is a conspiracy theory that is being built. Trains coming to Ayodhya in December, in January are going to be attacked, and there is going to be a Gujarat part 2. Others are giving their own theories. Smita, in the middle of all this, the Prime Minister has reduced the prices of LPG ahead of the festival season. How do you see the strategies, and how are they different on the opposition side and on the government side?
I'd give him a Nobel Prize for reducing 200.
On the early prediction, as per what the election analysis that we are seeing on television channels, which are appearing, it seems that the BJP is not, according to those analysts, the BJP is not going to fare very well. It's going to be an uphill task in the 4 states that go to polls in 2023, which is Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Telangana. Now it's just lost elections in 2 states, which is Himachal and Karnataka. So why would the BJP be interested in dissolving the parliament and calling polls in 2023? Just an academic thing, that why would they do that? Its earlier experiment was in 2004 with Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He advanced the polls by 8 months. And they lost, and they were sitting in the opposition for 10 years. So the BJP, I think, this year has to convince its cadres that the loss in Himachal and Karnataka and its probable not doing well in the 4 elections that are coming up, in spite of that, they have to put in all their efforts and not be demotivated by electoral results if it is against them, and fight the general election. So I don't see any merit in these fear or these comments that the elections will be preponed. Purely academic. My take is. The second one is on the LPG, which you asked. I think it is to ease the burden on the family, to compare, for ease of living, the rising cost of living because of the inflation. I think it's at 7.3 or 4 or whatever. So I think it's for that reason that the government has taken this stand, and they had increased the price. These companies, which is the IOC and the HPCL, BPCL, they had increased the price by about 200 rupees or so. I'm sorry, 50 rupees they had increased it earlier this year. So now this 200 rupees decrease is going to really help, because it currently costs at 1053 in some states, 1073 in some states, depending on where you live. So one view is that it's because of politics and because of election. The other view is that, oil prices have come down and we buy our oil from Russia, which is still lower. So then it makes sense for the LPG prices to be brought down. The third point, quickly, I want to come before you go to the others, is about this civil society thing that you had brought in earlier. This, and I saw this about Satyapal Malik also, which is being brought. The general view is, firstly, we need to see who is civil society. Satyapal Malik is certainly not civil society. He's going on that platform. The general view is that it's a civil society is non-government, non-profit groups who aim to form public discourse, and they are non-partisan. So the people who are named in this, who are supposed to be going there, they are certainly not non-partisan. In a functioning democracy, civil society has a role to play because they are the interface between ordinary citizens and the government. But we as common people, as journalists, can clearly see that civil society, which are termed civil society, often play the role of B teams of certain governments and B teams of the opposition. Here it is quite clear what the mandate of these people is. It is certainly not for the good of the citizen, but it is political in nature.
Well, Ashutosh, respond to that charge. All the civil society members so far that we are hearing of have all been seen as people with a certain anti-Modi agenda, which is fair.
10 साल से आरएसएस बीजेपी में है, उसका क्या बोलते हैं उस पर? हाउ डू यू लुक एट
10 साल से नहीं, मान्यवर बहुत सालों से है हमारे साथ
हाँ, बहुत सालों से है।
राष्ट्रवादी बनोगे तो आपके साथ भी आएगी। आप देशद्रोही काम छोड़ दो, आपको भी आरएसएस समर्थन देगी। राष्ट्रवाद के साथ है आरएसएस, राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ। आप राष्ट्रीय लगाते हो पर फिर चारा चोरी का काम करते हो तो कैसे आएगी आरएसएस आपके साथ?
अरे तुम तो पूरा छोड़ो।
चलिए, ये गैस की कीमत कम होने से पहली बात गैस बढ़ गई है। ये गैस की कीमत कम हुई है, पर ये गैस और बदहजमी इतनी बढ़ गई है, ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है रिलेशन क्या है। गैस की कीमतों से कम होने से आपकी गैस क्यों बढ़ गई है?
Let's get to the moot point here. And let me go across to Ashutosh ji. Ashutosh ji, you know, nobody knows what's going to happen in 2024, and everybody in this country has a right to stand either one side or the other. It's absolutely a free country and a free democratic country where people will make their choices. But the question is, on one side you hear fear mongering. You know, can any political party responsibly begin to now say, look into the stars and say कि जनवरी में इस देश में गुजरात पार्ट 2 होगा, ट्रेनें जला दी जाएंगी, बम फेंके जाएंगे, पथराव होगा? Can anybody begin to say that, and will that be considered as a responsible statement? Others, you can criticize the government in power, and absolutely the opposition has the full right to do so. But to begin to say, अरे पक्का चुनाव जल्दी होने वाला है, is there anything beyond this agenda of trying to unsettle, if they feel this is going to unsettle the government at the center? And beyond that, in civil society, as Smita Prakash pointed out, you know, these are people who are well known for their agendas. Now, are these not alliances that we've seen 2019, 2014, before that? What exactly is this India alliance all about?
I thought you know what India is all about. You don't need to learn from me. The fact of the matter is, every political party has an agenda. Agenda is to defeat your rival and to form the government. It's that simple. So the BJP has an agenda, and so the India also has an agenda. The fact is, when you're talking about civil society, I think the first clarification should come from the RSS itself, whether they call themselves a civil society or they call themselves a political party. What I know is that it's not a political party, but they are more clued into the politics than any civil society in this country itself. And they claim that they are not into the politics. And that's a promise which they have given to Sardar Patel in 1948 when the ban was lifted from them. And they have given in writing that they will not indulge into the politics. But the fact is, they are always in politics. They are always do politics. They do politics to the extent of choosing even the party president like BJP. You remember in 2009 after election, how Nitin Gadkari was chosen as the party president and others were ignored. And it was floated by the RSS, called name like Gang of Four. It was not by anybody else but the RSS themselves. So let's not get into that. I personally don't believe into any kind of conspiracy theories. And I don't want to discuss the conspiracy theories, but yes, every political party, every individual has a right to say, and there's nothing wrong if Nitish Kumar is saying that the election can be preponed. Mamata Banerjee can say election can be preponed. It is their democratic right to predict, their democratic right to prepone even their own election strategies. At least it shows that they are planning in advance, because who knows, in 2004 Atal Bihari Vajpayee did prepone election by six months. They lost elections. So I think let's not get into that why they are saying that it's a job of the government to hold election when it is constitutionally mandated or when they feel the election should be held. Why they should be worried about what Nitish Kumar is saying, Mamata Banerjee is saying. If I had been in BJP, I wouldn't have given a thought about this. Why are they talking about something like this? And Smita Prakash is quite right. That there's no reason to prepone elections. There is absolutely no reason to prepone elections. But yes, the prices has been reduced. That shows that there is a worry in the BJP that if cylinders are still sold at more than 1,000 rupees, it might impact the elections. Because recently at C-Voter survey has clearly said 62% people are worried that their income and the salary is going down. That's a huge number.
Well, so let me get in. I'm coming to you, Shehzad, but Abhijit Iyer Mitra, you know, he says everybody has a right to say. Of course, everybody can say everything. But preponing of elections, when it comes almost as if it's orchestrated, one leader after another, and when they begin to say there are going to be attacks on trains coming to Ayodhya, you know, the question I'm asking here is there a bid to somehow try and set the cat amongst the pigeons, number one? And on the other, if the Prime Minister does not reduce prices, then the Prime Minister is uncaring, doesn't care about the Aam Aadmi. If he reduces the prices, then he's scared. You know, is this binary really something that makes any logical sense to you?
So thanks for having me on, Navika. You'll notice I didn't interrupt anyone, so I'd really appreciate anybody else not interrupting me. Now, you know, this thing about preponing elections and, you know, reducing prices here and there, tell me one government in India that hasn't done it when it suits them. So, you know, is there any constitutional mandate against declaring elections when required, against increasing or lowering prices? So I really don't understand what the criticism here is. You know, it's like somebody on this panel coming and saying, oh, look, Abhijit is wearing yellow and Shehzad is also wearing a yellow gamcha. So they've decided to take part in a political conspiracy, you know, a pincer movement against all of us on this thing. You know, I think it's very important to remove all these frivolous discussions to one side. Let us focus instead on the valid points that a lot of our panelists made. First of all, the civil society coming together. You see, it's a coalition of negativity and gripe. It's basically 50 shades of socialism, and it's the politics of failure. There is diversity in representation, but zero diversity in terms of ideology. It's all socialism, 50 shades of socialism, right? The second thing we need to remember is, remember how the Congress itself dealt with all these people when they were in power. Are you forgetting what they did to all the civil society organizations that were protesting the Kudankulam reactor? How many of them got thrown in for sedition, whatnot? Do you remember how the Congress treated Medha Patkar and co? Who brought in all these laws cancelling the FCRA licenses? It was Chidambaram. Nobody has cancelled more FCRA licenses than Chidambaram did. Right? Now, remember, this civil society organizations, the problem with them is they are all quid pro quo business dealers. Okay? They have opinions for rent. And let me just focus specifically on two people, Miss Medha Patkar and Rakesh Tikait. Medha Patkar is on record in an interview sometime in the early 2000s, saying that, you know, till everybody becomes, till you can provide healthcare and medicine to everybody, rich people should give up cars and they should give up TVs and they should give up electricity. Okay. Rakesh Tikait, you have seen his latest antics in shutting down the farm bill. Now, my question to Tehseen, because he brought up this very valid question about the whole of Delhi shutting down. It's an extremely important thing. Why is Delhi shutting down during the G20 summit? It is because of the lack of infrastructure, the ability to channelize traffic, etc., etc. Why is that? It's precisely because of people like Medha Patkar and Rakesh Tikait, who have been going after any kind of reforms, including urban development and infrastructure. How exactly are you meant to deliver on infrastructure if you keep taking support and propping up people like Rakesh Tikait and Medha Patkar? So, you know, if your only point of reference on national integration is Mr. Satyapal Malik, I really do pity you. This isn't the first time, you know. They've taken a former fallen gentleman, Mr. Kulkarni, from the Vajpayee cabinet, a now disgraced governor called Mr. Satyapal Malik. Why is it that everybody they get are the spares? You know, the discards and the extras from the BJP who haven't found a career afterwards, who have generally been ignored from
Respond, Tehseen Poonawalla, that question is straight to you. Straight to you.
No. Actually, Abhijit makes very, very valid points, and I agree with Abhijit on most of what he says.
Including Satyapal Malik?
Yes, of course, he's a spent force. Forget that, I'll tell you, Shatrughan Sinha, the Congress took him in, he came campaigned against Pramod Acharya and went to the TMC. Why are you taking such...
But is that the Congress line? You're a supporter. But is that the Congress line?
No. See, hear me out. Of course I agree with that. I said that on Smitaji's podcast. But please understand.
Many people are inviting Satyapal Malik to the India Bloc.
Let me make my point. Just let me make my point. But please understand, them coming and supporting INDI is another affair. as long as they are not policymakers. In a free democratic country, anyone and everyone, no matter how left or loony he or she is, or how rowdy a right-winger he is, should be allowed to express their opinion. There is nothing wrong in it. The problem is when we paint some bunch of people as being against the interests of the country and we let go of the others. I think we must look at a centrist approach, and the India alliance must be centrist.
Centrist?
Or how it can
when you have an alliance with the CPIM, when you have an alliance with the CPI, you still want to be centrist?
Let me come in. Let me come in. Abhijit, I request you. Abhijit, I request you.
Okay, Shehzad Poonawalla. Last word, Shehzad Poonawalla.
कभी कभी तहसीन को देख के और सुन के आचार्य जी की याद आ जाती है. Anyway, आचार्य जी
बहुत कमजोर होते हैं वो गुब्बारे जो.
Can you stop interrupting?
में नहीं पहुंचे, ये तो कांग्रेस में नहीं पहुंच पाए.
Interrupting, बाबा. I have not interrupted. इनकी बीमारी ही यही है. धैर्य कुछ नहीं
है. जो गैस है,
अब देखिए ऐसा है.
All right, lowering all faders, Shehzad.
I am very happy. ये जो भी मेधा पाटकर, ये इनके जो भी पहले तीस्ता सेतलवाद, ये अच्छा है ना. पहले तो बैक डोर से घुसते थे, अब बैक डोर से कौन घुसता है? अब ये फ्रंट डोर से आ रहे हैं. तो हम तो स्वागत करते हैं कि जिनकी प्रवृत्ति और मानसिकता बैक डोर से आने की थी, आज वो फ्रंट डोर का इस्तेमाल करेंगे. मैं तो कहता हूं एक स्टेप आगे जाइए. मैं तो कहता हूं आपका वैसे ही ऑपोजिशन अलायंस का कोई कैंडिडेट पीएम का तय नहीं हो पा रहा है, आप तीस्ता सेतलवाद को ही बना दो. उनकी तो उपलब्धि है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उनको कन्विक्ट भी किया है कि किस प्रकार से गुजरात के दंगों के केसेस में वो फैब्रिकेशन कर रही थी. या मेधा पाटकर जिनके ऊपर फंड्स मिसअप्रोप्रिएशन का केस है और जिन्होंने गुजरात के विकास को रोकने का काम किया, उनको पीएम चेहरा बना दीजिए अपना. पर मेरा एक सवाल है तहसीन पूनावाला, क्योंकि ये दुनिया के सबसे बड़े सेंट्रिस्ट है. तहसीन पूनावाला जी, फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच, फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन, जब भारतीय जनता पार्टी के 100 से अधिक नेता और कार्यकर्ता काटे गए टीएमसी के द्वारा और 50 से ज्यादा लोग पंचायती राज चुनाव में मारे गए, तब अधीर रंजन चौधरी चीखते रहे, तो आपके प्रथम परिवार के सदस्य कहां थे? राहुल गांधी और प्रियंका, जिनके आप बहुत करीब है. ये सेंट्रिस्ट और फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच वाले कहां चले जाते हैं भाई? सुन लीजिए, मेरी पूरी बात तो हो जाने दीजिए.
No, I'm running out of time. The question tonight is only this much. Anybody in a democracy is allowed to go whichever side, but nobody in a democracy is allowed to create unrest, to try and provoke, or to try and forecast, even riots, which will, they say, happen 5 months from now. That is a question, and that is a conspiracy theory that needs to be guarded against, because at the end of the day, and Tehseen Poonawalla, the Congress will have to guard against this. If your theory about the India alliance is opening a mohabbat ki dukaan, then predicting riots certainly should not be part of your constitution. We leave it at that for now. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1.